What is up, guys? Wraec is here with another live stream. Not many people here. What is up, guys? Wonderful new season of IDA has just finished, and also DH dropped the new Star Spawn update on us. I made a video on that already. Anybody's already here? Can just check it out. Maybe we should post the live stream. Maybe that will be something that makes sense. So let me go ahead and do that before we start here. Let's just go here and just take everyone. That's always good. Live right now. Yeah, that's the way to go. And then we go into the Alios discussion. Meslina, yes, sadly it is already too late. It's not like last time where we had the opportunity, or the time before, I think it was. Or were we live last time? I don't even remember, to be honest. The one time before, in season 35, I think I was in the final, and we had like the last 3 minutes before the final eventually was fought out. And I remember that time. This time it's not that live. I mean, the results are already available. I lost, that much I can say. We will see why. I mean, I lost against Artorias. That is something, I mean, I can say. And of course, losing to Artorias, that is never something to be ashamed of. Man is just a machine. I mean, like, he has 1.1 billion strength. I guess I can lose to that. I guess that is alright. And we get some people here. King Roy is here. Waffles, Lursin, and Jacob starting off. There you go, mate. Member for 2 months now. It doesn't even feel like I'm doing this for 2 months. And Devilman. The man with the birthday. Happy birthday, mate. Can't stay cause I have to work. Have to work on your birthday. Oh, well, it was your birthday yesterday. I saw the comment. But anyway, thanks for stopping by, Devilman. Always makes me happy to see you in chat. And 4 months already. Bloody hell. That's insane. 4 months. And I just said that I don't even feel like I did it for 2 months, let alone 4. I mean, 4 is just it's just pure insanity. That's just pure insanity. H2P, nice, hey mate. Micro Ice. Good evening, my man. What's up, Wraec? Haven't been here in a while, but I'm glad to be back from Eddie. That's great to see you, mate. I don't mind if somebody's not here for some time. People have a life. People have stuff to do. I can understand. Let's have a look at the star spawns before we start with the IDA. Want to get some new viewers in here. I think they look pretty cool. The one thing I really like about the new star spawns is they make this tree a lot more lively, because there are like star spawns everywhere now. Today is technically my birthday, but good luck and I get the presents. Devilman with the 20 USD. Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. And definitely you have to party a little bit. You have to do some happy times after the work. I know how it is. I have to work on like every birthday. I remember that, but just treat yourself to something nice after working. It's always worth it. It's not every day that is your birthday. Thanks, mate. Caligula, hello. After the last video, I actually upgraded them a little bit. I ended up doing it exactly as I said in the video, focusing on the 3 damage dealer star spawns and neglecting the other ones a little bit. This one's just too small, but busts are too small, and then we have the 2 defensive ones. I didn't really go for that. Gotta show my love to my favorite creator. Thanks, Devilman. That's really nice. That's really nice, mate. Thank you. Always appreciate you being in the comment section. And Big Nor, the afflicted one. The guy from like every Barry video, even though he's friends with MK. That's like the strangest thing though. He's on the leaderboard on Barry's server. That's always pretty fun. I'm not looking forward to unlocking these star spawns. Unlocking them isn't even the problem, but like once you start leveling them and they treat you with like 11,000 per upgrade per level, yeah. That can hurt. And the meanest thing is, it's no longer 20 of those special materials. You no longer need 20 of those orange materials, you now need 40. 40! That's insane. It's like 40 of those orange ones, 40 of those green ones, and then you go into the Star Destiny, and once you want to reroll that, I don't even think I have a lot of materials, then you can use those as well, and it would give you 4, which is, I mean, like, we all would want to do that, but it's obviously it's the best, it's a bad decision, though. This one is certainly a nice roll, 141%, yeah, I can do that. But to be honest, I think the good way to do it is like upgrade them now, get 1 roll on it, and then you can reroll them in future. But because once we have all of those star spawns maxed, I mean, most certainly you will have the materials to drop them into this and get the best rolls ever. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you get the materials for free to reroll those. That's really insane. What else do we have? Well, you got all the new star spawns. Yeah, I got them today. I mean, there's 6 overall. We got them all today. I got the last one in the video I posted earlier, so that was quite nice. Bandyman, I'm in every berry video, and yet I'm friends with MK. Yeah, that's the same with Big Noah. Wraec, how are things? Things are very well. Actually, a little bit tired. I somehow thought it was a good idea to put the stream like 5 minutes after I was done working, so well, didn't really catch a break, but that is alright. That is alright. Honestly, it's kind of a break. It's like holiday chilling with you guys here, so that's quite alright. I only have the 2 basic ones on 140. I mean, even if you have some on 140, that's kind of insane already. I mean, it has gotten a little bit easier to get them to 140. I mean, it has gotten a little bit easier to get them to 140. I mean, if you go into like a campaign event or something, you can get the materials now. That wasn't the case earlier. Now it's possible. So, but still, I mean, like getting 40 orange mats, that will take forever. Slowly upgrading star spawns. Yeah, that's the right way to do it. Yeah, well, I mean, like, we now have to care about 2 things with these star spawns, like the proper roll here, and beyond that, obviously the upgrading. The thing is, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I didn't really say it in the video, those stars here, they follow the same color scheme as the Awakenings. So, like, it starts off with E tier, which is like the blue star, and you usually see like 5, 10, 20% buffs maybe here. And then you go into the yellow tier, which is like D tier, and you see like 108, 125%, 25% already. It's quite insane. And then you get into C tier, and those are those purple stars. And I think C tier is already giving quite insane buffs. 132% armor break or something. What else do we have? We have this guy here, 161% control immunity offset. And this is like C tier. And I already saw some green ones, some B tier ones. Insane stats, I tell you that. Insane stats. Yeah, Devilman, that's true. Devilman writes, if you get the dupe of the new star spawn, you will get a chance at the cookies, so you can farm them. Yeah, I got 1 dupe, which is mainly because of a little screw up by me. And I got one of those cookies. So with the duplicates as well, you can farm rerolls, which is quite nice. Even if you do a lot of rerolls, so it's a little bit like summoning. Like getting a C tier is already good, getting B tier is insane, and we haven't seen a red star yet. We don't know if that exists, because they don't really give us a lot of information. They give us that, and they give us that, and that's like it. I mean, like, there is nothing. We can go in here. Assess. I mean, there is no info fancy or something like that. There is nothing. So that is a little bit annoying. Got IDHM today. Horsey Pro. Congratulations, mate. That's really cool. So, enough about the star spawns. I think we got a good amount of people in here. So I would say we check out Interdimensional Arena. I didn't give anybody a like. That's not cool. Well, let's give a like to Artorias. As you can see, I was here. Let's start off with my fight. It's group 7. I was here. I started here, and I was a little bit hoping for like a final versus Artorias. I thought a final versus Artorias, that would have been cool. But obviously, as I said this, I basically instantly got a private message by Big Noah, and he told me like, "Yeah, mate, no." It's like first fight versus Artorias, and yeah, I mean, like, that's my team. I kind of used a little bit all of my heroes basically, and pushed my power up. So it's like 723 million, but like, yeah, half of that are E5 heroes. So not really worth anything. The main teams were up here. I butchered this team. I wanted to do something cool here with like Cruise, but didn't really work out. And honestly, I did it in like 10 minutes and didn't plan a lot. Like a proper CC team would have been cool, and I think this could have beaten a bit more. Then I built this, like a generic Star Alchemist Holmes team, not too much juice in it, but can beat a few teams. And then we have the main team, which is the last team I ran, basically to get IDA champ. It's the same team, nothing really changed here. Did anything change? I think I didn't have the Ferric Investor last time, or did I? I think I have it now. I don't know if anybody remembers my last team. I have a Ferric Investor, a plus Ferric Investor now, and it's pretty strong. And this SFX is huge now. So that's basically the difference. And yeah, it ended 9-10, but that is a lie. Torius just had a lot of teams, and then it was... and then basically there was this main team. And the point is, you don't beat a Torius main team. You don't beat that. And the reason you don't beat that is this team is fast. It is so bloody fast. You have to imagine it's all about snow hearts. Let's watch the fight in the background, by the way. It's all about snow hearts. So, what do snow hearts do? They make the enemy slower. And they reduce it by like 30 speed, and then they reduce it by a little bit less, and then there's a chance to reduce the speed. And the problem is, those SS and SSS heroes, they have like 90 speed, they have like 95 speed, so they initially, just without any homeowner upgrades, and Artorias has a lot of homeowner upgrades, they already have like 30 speed more than my heroes. 30 to 40 speed, every single one of those heroes has 30 to 40 speed more than my heroes. So the entirety of my Snow Hearts just does nothing. It basically only works against his ratings, so there is no chance I actually win this. The only way I could see myself having a better chance at this team is if I took out the MFF, if I took out the Ferrokin Vesa and substituted those with Rogues and get some extra speed to compensate, not to get extra speed in that sense that I just want to be super fast. It's more to compensate his ratings, to compensate those SSS ratings. I mean, in the end, what do we fight here? We fight like, I don't know how much money that even is. A ton of money. And you would think my team is that too, but compared to this, my team is, yeah, like the free-to-play version. So, Torius cheated. He put his main team to the last one so he could win. I think if he put it as a first team, we could just see more fights of his first team. I think that would have been what it ended up with, but like, yeah, this way I lost, and let's be real with it. There was no chance I ever win this. This team could have never won this. I sit here so many times, so many seasons, I said like, okay, if there just was this slight bit of better RNG, or if that didn't turn out against us. No, this time, no chance. There is just no chance that I win this. And I think, honestly, let's just look at the end card. Wait a second. There he slaughtered all my teams. This is the main fight. Let's skip that and look at the end card. I don't think my team did such a bad job. We can watch some other fights of Artorias. I mean, like, look, there is damage. There is damage. 3 heroes did damage. And now we look at some other fights against some other people that were here. So let's look at Jockrock. Let's look at Jockrock versus Artorias. Yeah, I think... What is even the main team here? I mean, it's not that, right? Is it that? I have no idea. I mean, that ends the same way either. Okay, let's check that out. Let's check that out. So that happens, and then that happens. I mean, he's surviving. It's not too bad. My heroes were dead. He even gets an active skill off. I mean, that could even be better than my team. Just build Zai Shis next time. Yeah. Honestly, I could see a little bit of a meta shift coming. I'm working on something. Well, what does it mean I work on something? No, I think we are gonna see way stronger Starwing Jorah core teams. Honestly, I thought this would be a shorter fight. But like a Psy core team makes heroes so strong. And he even gets damage. I mean, he didn't do bad. He did less damage than me though. So that was the one fight, and now let's watch the final fight from Artorias versus, what is his name? Shui? Do I say that right? Nguyen! Hey bro! From Vietnam, nice! I have a lot of viewers from Vietnam actually. And we have Queenie here! Nice that you joined. I think I've never seen you in my chat. I've actually never seen you in my chat. So happy that you're here. That's great. We're just watching Artorias beat people. He does that a lot, apparently. So, and look how he gets murdered. I mean, he has 2 rogues. You would think that he's faster, but no. It's just like, okay, Artorias has Awakening, so it's murder time. And we have a Psycho abuser here. Daiko. Yeah, and this is an IDA final fight. You have to imagine that. That's not like some guy that that randomly got here. It's like IDA final, though he has a V3 rogues. That's another story. But I mean, like, this team could have certainly done some damage, but not to Artorias. I mean, he didn't even, or he did attack with this LFA, but that was about it. So I mean, like, Artorias well-deserved win. And here you can see what a lot of strength really is. I found it was quite funny. I think Artorias sometimes randomly goes to the auction house and just buys some hero. I can really imagine him doing that. He comes into the auction house and says like, no, I want an 80 hero. And then he goes in there and looks at something and just buys it. He has 2 A- carries. And an A- Panda. And then he just thought about, okay, I want to do Star Expedition, so he bought an A Olivia and an A Ignis. And then something went wrong because he bought an A Sherlock and nobody needs that. And then something went really wrong and he bought a lot of rogues. I don't know why. He has like 3 A or even A plus rogues. I think this rogue is really insane. I think I remember this copy. I think this is like one of the most insane rogues. And then he has the A Armra and an A Asmodel, not even A minus, it's A Asmodel. Those are really expensive. And A minus Flora. That I'm jealous of. That I'm really jealous of, because I want the Flora. I want the Fiona, and I want an Inosuke. And I think my man here has an A Fiona. I don't know if he has an Inosuke. No idea. And he has like this A minus Flora. And I'm really jealous of that A minus Flora. I think that's as funny as well. It's like B plus Vesa, and they put it to T3. I mean, the amount of T3 heroes alone is insane. And there's just like, okay, I have this A minus Ezreal and don't really know what to do with it, so let's put it in their team. Really insane. He kept the SSS Panda, which is, I thought he wanted to retire that, but he kept it. Interesting. So, Group 1, I think we are going to skip Group 10. I think that's a good idea. No. We can see Big Noah here in this group. Group 1. There is Big Noah, by the way, from chat. Mr. Afflicted One. Set his team up. What did he build? That is an interesting. He built like full burst. Look at that. He built like full burst. With SQH core. Interesting. Interesting. 2 rogues, one of which homeowner. And then we have like an A minus Mockman. And the A Ferric Investor. And the funny thing is he summoned the A minus Mockman. Which is really insane. I'm not quite sure about the SQH core. I'm not quite sure I like that. But then again, what else would he use? He doesn't really have a lot in here. Though I would think Freya core would be nice. I mean, he's all about speed with his team here. So why not using a Freya core? If you use a Freya core, you get some extra speed. That would have been interesting, honestly. But I want to see his fight. I mean, he lost, but it doesn't really matter. He won against Fliegenfuller and then lost against Failed. But Failed went ahead and won the final. So why not? Why not? That's okay to lose. Okay, Okay, it's main team versus main team. Oh, against Sai core team. Okay. Yeah, well, like Burst versus Sai core team. Let's watch that fight. I want to see that fight. I feel bad for not optimizing. Yeah, you should. I mean, it's a wasted opportunity. You wait an entire month to do IDA, and once the day arrives, you don't feel the need to optimize. It's just like, yeah, it's not smart. But I know the feeling, mate. I know the feeling. I know the feeling when you're like, when you really don't want to go ahead and do that on this specific day when launches. Yeah, and he had basically lost here. But it's interesting to see that this is the first fan we saw, I think. Interesting. I mean, like, this team is super vulnerable to Sai. This team is super vulnerable to Sai. That basically, I mean, he has the Ferric Investor, but what is a single Ferric Investor going to do against the Sai core team? Like, nothing. Has no chance at all. And then he has SQH, but that doesn't have proper stats. And MFF is mostly defensive hero, and he has no way to actually buff it. And then the Rogues, I mean, they die. They are for turn 1, and afterwards they die. I got a second active here. But like, every time he does the active, it hits the carry. And yes, just no chance. I mean, at this point, it's done. He switched the stance. There is no damage coming out anymore. And the Ezreal didn't even die. He's using Endless Ezreal. I think I've heard about that. And wasn't there some stuff about the Endless buff resetting every time this guy revives? I think there was some stuff with that. I don't know. Oh, and there we have the damage over time devs. And yet now what does he have? Yes, an Ferric Investor that will be locked with a Perceptual Disorder forever. No more heal because of Ezreal, and with that it's done. Yeah, okay, there was no chance. Like, this team, I would say, is incredibly weak against Sai core teams. I think he would have stood a decent chance against Starving Jara teams, though. That's something I could have imagined, but like, he has one damage dealer. And this Ferric Investor is not really doing it, so not really a chance. Interesting, though, that's interesting. I mean, look at that. He has like the non-homeowner B plus Sun Devourer EOS that did the most damage. But I guess it's mostly, the reason for that is it's damage over time. She does a lot of damage over time, and the Sahi is multiplying that. Is upgrading the damage over time every turn. And the cores as well, so that's mostly the problem. It's temporary since I was pushing campaign and other stuff. Gonna make changes for PvP before next IDA. Yeah, I think it was not too bad of a team. It's just hard countered basically by Star Alchemist Storms because you're relying on that Mockman, and that Mockman will always be controlled. I think one way to actually change that would have been to make the Mockman, let the Mockman have less attack than the Ferric Investor. Because in that sense you would have needed the double Perceptual Disorder to actually hit that Mockman, and other than that it would have always hit the Ferric Investor, and that would have at least given you the chance to do a little bit more damage, but I don't think that would have won you this fight. My first fight is a better example of my team not getting countered. Okay, we do him the favor and we show that too. Come on. Oh no, that's Red 7. Red 7, cool guy, by the way. It's also in my Discord. And there we have, this is the main team. Okay, let's watch that. I'm guessing homeowner wrong for the speed. I mostly, in teams like this, is speed and survivability, because those rogues tend to die. And obviously he has a Ferric Investor and he focuses on that a lot, and Rogue is tenant for Ferric Investor. So that is interesting as well. Yeah, and we have the nice counterattacks here. We really have the nice counterattacks. Those are, of course, extremely cool. Because you really get to punch through some defense. Didn't really work out in the second fight, but in this one, yeah, certainly it did. Is that that's a T2 SQH. I think if you want to use SQH, mate, you have to invest in it a little bit more. Because, like, let's check that out. T2 doesn't give you like all the traits. You have T2 is like the active skill, but what is really nice on SQH, if you can have it, is like passive 3. First of all, that's her HP restoration, and then we have a bit more HP restoration, and we have heal for the entire team, and her passive 4. And passive 4 basically upgrades the all damage dealt to 24%, with Queen's Guard with 1200% attack damage, and then we have 8% all damage reduction for the entire team. And that really makes a difference. And counterattack, attack reduce, which is not that interesting, but it can be cool. Basically, every time somebody hits that SQH, all 5 heroes on your team make a counterattack, and that reduces the attack of the enemy by 15%. It's quite cool. I mean, you really want that. If you want to use SQH on a team in the endgame IDA, then those are basically necessity. So, still, I mean, for what you said that you wanted to push campaign, that was indeed pretty cool. So let's check out the finalist though. Failed, we already saw it with the Star Alchemist Holmes team that just butchered Big Noah. And then we have, sorry, can't read that. We have a double CC team that looks a little bit like my team, or more like Franco's team actually. With the double CC from LFA, a little bit of sustain, and then we have a Rogan for some extra speed, and SQH also at T2. What other people all have with this T2 SQH? I don't understand that. Okay. I am for myself. I use, what do I use? I use an SFX. And what do I use at 6 hero even? Well, I don't remember. Mockman. So I have a lot more damage, but this is also quite interesting. So let's see that. I mean, with the CC team, you're always looking at the CC procs. That is something you want with a Starving Jara team like this. You would want some really good Starving Jara core procs. If you can lock down that Star Alchemist Holmes for the entire fight, that is really good. And by the way, it's not even really worth it, in my opinion, to have a homeowner Starving Jara. I mean, of course you can lock down everything from turn 1, but why would you? She's your core carrier. Together with the LFA, you can double CC, and then it doesn't really matter if you are faster than the enemy. You can go for a turn 1 CC easily. And then lock everything down with the core, get some double CC going. But you just need enough damage. It's of course unfortunate here that the LFA is positioned directly opposing the Ferric Investor that can't be crit. That would of course be much better for him if that Aspen would have hit that Star Alchemist Holmes. But you can see it really takes quite some time to hit down a Star Alchemist Holmes team. And then things like this happen. We had the Ferric Vessel active bugging out, and you really only survive that if the enemy is running Azrael, if that Star Alchemist Holmes didn't attack. Because now we don't get heals anymore. No more heals here, and this is just a slow death that is now happening. And now basically 1 or 2 heroes start dying, then suddenly he gets out, does an active skill, and you get slaughtered. And this is really stupid, I think. This is a stupid mechanic of the Star Alchemist Holmes core. You really need to get around 7 or 8, depending on the upgrade level of this core, until you can really hit down the enemy. And in this fight, I mean, Failed got out with the full team. This rarely happens. Usually you lose like the carry or something. But he got out with a full team. And he was CC'd for like 6 consecutive turns. And I think that is really the stupid part of the Star Alchemist Holmes core. But well-deserved win. I mean, it was well-executed Star Alchemist Holmes team, did the job, and the nice thing is, look at that, man does not have an A tier. And this still placed 1 IDA. He got an IDA win without even having an A tier in there. So, if you guys want to copy something like that, Star Alchemist Holmes team doesn't need any A tiers, it's pretty cheap. And if you get the right sublimations, you can go ahead and win IDA. It works. So, congratulations to Failed. Nice win here. And with that we go to Group 2. Jay versus Harden. Franco Carl lost here. We're not going to look at the fight, I just wanted to state it. Anton here. Anton actually from my server. We're going to look at this team. Man actually dropped an SS Holmes, yeah. And he sold that, and now he bought himself a very nice Vesa, a very nice Starving Jara. and built a very nice team. Which is quite cool. So he got top 8 now, which is pretty good. Let's look at the finalists. We have Jay here. Oh, that's nice. Like a little CC team here with the crews, 2 Rogans, a Jara. The thing is, do you really need those? So like, I mean he had those probably, but this team is going to be slower than the enemy anyway. So not really any use for crews. I like to put some other things in there, maybe like a Sherlock or like a Holmes Young, get some more CC going. That is something I like to do, but of course, I mean, you can run wrong, nothing wrong with that. Then we have this, no idea what this is, and then we go for, once again, Mr. Holmes team with a lot of homeowners, all 6 homeowners here. Drakan, hello mate. Mod Dragon, will 10k gems be enough for Christmas? I have no idea. Sadly, I don't get any information from DH, so I can't tell you how much it is going to be. I know what happens in the event tomorrow, because tomorrow we get the event spoilers. My guild merged with his guild. Jacob, what's your guild and what's his guild? Do you mean Harden, Waffles, or who do you mean? Okay, here we have an ASFX. Is that like the team, or is it another team? That's a weird setup. I mean, like, okay, we have this. Basically, that's the super old Drake Rogan Burst team, but he substituted 1 Rogan with him Freya. I think I ran that too, but I didn't see that team for like, I don't know, a few months, half a year. That's an old team. That's a pretty old team. Not surprised this lost against Jay actually, because that's a little bit outdated. This team is the main team. Yeah, I mean, like, you have Farukin and SFX as main carry, and once you have SFX as main carry and you run into a Starcom Storms team, you are bound to have problems. So, yeah, I'm not really surprised Jay won here. We can see why I would not recommend this team, probably. In the first fight of it, where is it actually? I mean, it got through those teams. He already lost the Drake. And this Drake isn't even enabled. I mean, yeah. Can we call this I mean, this is not the proper setup. Let's be real. This is not a proper setup. You have some Drake in there, and this is just dying. I mean, ideally you have it for turn 1, and if you want to run it a little bit longer and have some use from it, you want it to survive. And this thing just died against a secondary team, so that's just not good. Does it even have any proper artifact or something? It's probably a Snowart, right? I mean, Snowart is alright. I don't want to say anything wrong here, but Snowart is an alright artifact for that. Still not quite sure how this thing even died. I mean, okay, not in this fight. Died in the next one. Or against the Cruise team, against the CC team. Yeah, and the CC team costume is Drake. And now Drake is gone. It's hard to run normal heroes nowadays because it's hard to get the proper stats on him. But you should at least give it an attempt. And, like, at least make it V4 for IDA. Let's see the main fight then. But, like, it's clear as day. It's clear as day that Jay had the better setup here. That Jay had the setup that was more refined. And, I mean, he didn't even get the SFX kill here. He would have gotten the SFX kill had the Drake not still been alive. Because the Drake obviously would have negated the dodge from the carry. And that would, of course, have helped. It's like turn 2 and now he just got the kill. He just got the kill. I mean, yeah, he is spreading LFA CC, but... yeah. That's just a very old team. I mean, that did reasonably well. It wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. But I would say it was mostly lucky that his SFX wasn't CC'd. We could have been a perceptual disorder at the same time. And then he would have no chance at all. But like in this situation, Star Alchemist Home Squad just wins. Because there's nothing you can do. If the Drake was still alive, okay. Now you can see the SFX damage. And you can't even punch through the shields anymore. And that won't get any better for like 2 or 3 turns. And the question is then, can Jay lock it down in 2 or 3 turns? The SFX dodging here, that I would say is like a little bit of a bad setup. I would have recommended, honestly, to have like either the MFF or the Ferric Investor a little bit faster, trigger the SFX dodge, and then let the Star Alchemist homes CC them. We are in a time where you can have like 2 homes or 3 homes, and it's IDA. We are looking at the final here, so can have some proper teams. But still, it's round 7, and there's just no chance. He has a lot of single target hitters as well. I mean, that SFX did a ton of damage. Yeah, surely did, but like, no chance here against those. I think it's quite interesting to see that it's always somebody different in those Star Alchemist homes team that does the most damage. Like we saw one where it was EOS, now we have one with Ezreal, and the next one will probably have Star Alchemist homes. But good win by Jay. No questions asked, deserved win. Congratulations on that. And with that we move to Group 3. Dark Rita versus High Five. And another victory that I want to point out, or another loss I want to point out. Ace lost against Dark Rita. Apparently due to lack of cores. Apparently the man didn't activate his cores. But yeah. I mean, that's a crap ton of money. By the way, he does the most damage in Star Expedition in Omega Project, if you guys care about that. Still less than DT, I have to say, at this point. I mostly say that because he hates it. I built some interesting teams. CC team here, mostly with the SFX a little bit burst. 2 8-tier rogues. This is a pretty strong team. And Dark Rita is running pretty much the same team without the SFX, but with Ferric Investor instead. I mean, let's watch this fight. Oh no, this fight was boring. We don't watch it. I watched it. This was like 13 rounds or something. No, let's watch Dark Rita versus High Five. I think that has to be enough. We saw this team, LFA, Starring Jara, Double Rogan. That is pretty much meta. We saw those CC teams the last time, and I think those are still pretty relevant, still pretty good. The most powerful wins I saw with teams like this are the ones where they went for super fast Starving Jara turn 1 active, which is a little bit of a balancing act, but can be really strong. But of course turn 2 can also work, but in general those teams are not very sustainy. They can die rather easily. And here we have some interesting team actually. Like a Star Alchemist Homes team, but not with all those suicide heroes, but more like a sustain team, I would imagine. Some crit damage reduction here. Interesting. So let's see how that works. Obviously, usually sustain teams are very susceptible to damage from CC teams. So, I mean, that can certainly be a problem. And yeah, there we have it. Yeah, Queenie, he did okay with that for 2 more battles. But the thing is, you need the Drake obviously for the strong teams. You need it to have it for the main teams. If your main team loses heroes before it hits the enemy main team, then this is something you really don't want. And yeah, now we get the huge hits from the Starving Jara. Some poison I see here, though I'm not quite sure it is from the Starving Jara or from the Mystic Fairy Freya. And the strongest attack hero is even the LFA. So he can still CC with the Starving Jara, which is something I very like, that he didn't oversee that. And obviously High Five does not really have a chance here because he just gets CC'd before he can attack. Well, now he can attack with his Mockman, but Mockman has Horrify, so no crits possible. And he's using the fan. That's pretty cool. It's the second fan only we see. I have it, but I didn't use it. And we can see how tanky that Mockman is. Actually just switch stance, but that won't help him because he's double CC'd. And I guess in a few seconds he will be triple CC'd. Yeah, there we have the triple CC with dodge. And yeah, it's only a matter of time now till he loses. I mean, he's regenerating his crit damage reduction and everything. That's a matter of time till he loses. And indeed, it seems like a fully subbed Starving Jara, so that's pretty cool. 3.7 trillion. Well, good damage. I think that was a good fight. was a good fight, solid team by Rita. Something definitely that it's a well set up team, and that makes it dangerous. I think this team would have done equally good without the A+ Aspen, so if you want to build something like this, you can definitely go ahead and do so. So, yeah, RNG was on his side, yeah, but I think this was also a speed issue, because High Five's team is a little bit slower, his team has 2 Rogans and is built for speed, and I think that was just advantageous here. But like High Five is in a sense that is a similar team to mine. We don't use the same heroes, but those are those mid-speed teams. They are not really bad against anything, but also don't shine in particular versus a lot of teams. So if you just want a solid team and never want to say like, oh, I'm absolutely in disadvantage against like, I don't know, a CC team or something, then you can run teams like this with 6 Transcendence heroes, but then you have to live with something like this, that a CC team, a specialized team, can overrun you a little bit. If it's just built better and stronger. So that was a good fight. Well-deserved win again by Rita. So I think that was pretty good. Still good team by High Five as well. I mean, you won against M, and M is pretty strong as well. One of Omega Project's newest recruits. Was in Pillars before that. And before that, I think it was in Paragon for a short time. But we actually were together in Chronicles. My second guild ever in the game, Chronicles. Also a team we won, like, I think it was season 3, we got top 4 in Ace or something with Chronicles forever ago. And there we were actually clanmates, and now in Omega Project we are clanmates once again. So that's pretty interesting, pretty cool. Dada! And we have Frostmourne here, and KDL. A lot of OP members in this group. Figured you would be further ahead by now. Man, Arto, we already watched our fight. You missed it. That was the first fight we looked at. That was the first fight we watched. You versus me. Well, you slaughtering me, I would say. Because that was mostly what happened. So, what do we have here after all? Dada, I think, yeah. Mockman, Stark and Mr. Holmes team. Again, with the Suicide Carry. We saw this team before. Damn job, I should retire. Well, that would certainly make spending a bit hard, wouldn't it? And then we have Okachimachi, which is a funny name. I like this name. I like his name. It's pretty cool. Japan Full Moon. Isn't that like, which guild was that? Which guild had that sign? I know that guild because a lot of people from my server joined it, actually. Is that Helios and those people, right? Yeah, those are the Helios people. And he built basically the same team we saw before with the CC team from Rita. And in this case, Dada won with the Star Alchemist Holmes team, so let's watch that, by the way. Dada also with an A SFX and the A- Starving Jar. Pretty cool. Let's see how that turns out. I hope, by the way, that the quality is okay. I changed my recording setup a little bit. Well, mostly software-wise. So, I hope that is good. Oh, we can see the power of CC here. I'm not quite sure. One thing I noticed that was quite interesting. You can indeed die when the Mystic Fairy Freya attacks. Because the dot reproduction by the dot buff from the Star Alchemist Storms is so strong that even the dot from Mystic Fairy Freya can be enough to kill your team. I think it's quite interesting that Dada doesn't run Azrael. I would definitely replace that carry with Azrael, because Azrael is so bloody strong in those teams. Just that the possibility to deactivate the enemy heal is such a huge asset. And I would recommend him to consider that, to definitely consider running Azrael. Because that is such an easy ability. You don't even need sublimations or anything, you just put him in the team and he's just buffed carry. This basically is it's buffed carry without the energy drain, but you don't get the energy drain all too often, so I think just using Astral is just straight up better. Yeah, and now we have the Perceptual Disorder on here. And once this Star Alchemist Holmes gets Perceptual Disorder off, it's basically done. He went for a tanky variant, though, with a fan. So, yeah. Well, that Mockman was tanky. Indeed. Indeed, the Mockman. I think you were talking about the Mockman some fights ago. But that's alright. That's alright. Well-deserved win by Dada. I think that was like a quick walk group. Nothing much to say here other than that Dada well-deserved this win and built a pretty good team. Maybe next time Okachimachi, your team was certainly good as well. Just needs a proper group to go ahead. And we got Sharon versus Bloop. Oh no! I didn't even know. Bloop is an old guildmate of mine from Paragon. I would have loved to see him as a winner here. It would have been so cool if he won. Honestly, I would have been really happy if I saw that group and there was Bloop at the top. Obviously, Sharon is okay as well. But he got it a few times already. He got IDA win, I think. So having Bloop, I think it would have been his first time, so that would have been cool. But second place is a nice frame as well. So let's see what Bloop built. I know Sharon's built. CC team with Starwing Jorah and not an LFA, but a Mockman. Okay. Can do that. It's a little bit bursty. And then we have Sharon. Sharon usually runs. Yeah, there we have it. That's his main team with the double panda. And he bought the second A panda. I think like 2 seasons ago or something. I said like, yeah, mate would really need a second A panda. And he really got it. So that's really insane. Pretty cool. Merry Christmas, everyone. Skylo with the sub for 3 months now. Thanks, mate. Makes me really happy to see that you are in like every video and in every stream, just watching them, supporting and commenting on my Discord, discussing things on my Discord. Always appreciate you, see you there. Always very nice. Thanks, mate. And I wish you Merry Christmas too. So, Panda team versus Burst CC team. I think we can see a difference in the hero quality here though. So, but look at that. Honestly, I like that fight. Before watching it, I say that. I like that fight because that is a cool team with like Mockman, Burst, Starwing Jorah CC, and we see it fight against a Panda team, absolutely off meta, but beefed up through the roof. That man tried to make Panda working, and I think that is worth some recognition, or is worth some recognition from us already, so I think that's pretty cool. Let's check that out. Ferric Investor going first. Obviously, Bloop is a little bit faster. Slaying down the first panda. And not getting the second one, sadly. Okay. Got down some CC, but didn't CC the Sun Devourer EOS. That can hurt. And obviously, yes, in the front row, he has the Starwing Jorah. So, not CCing the Sun Devourer EOS can prove fatal here. And you don't have to forget the damage from Mockman is not armor ignoring, so he can't ignore armor given by pandas. Yeah, then again, Sharon didn't get a lot of buffs from his pandas. Certainly didn't. I mean, those pandas nearly died instantly. Bloop, I would say that was some bad RNG. Because, like, he could have gotten so many more Mockman chases here, and I think that would have made a big difference. He's lucky though that he doesn't have a sun up yet. If that EOS didn't an active skill, that would have been absolutely over. Doesn't have the most consistent energy feed, I have to say. Is there even a core active here? I mean, which core is he using? Is that a Starwing Jorah core? I mean, I would suppose it is a Starwing Jorah core. I would certainly hope it is a Starwing Jorah core. But that is another thing you can see. Those rogues just die to the pings. They die to the pings from the queen here. Yeah, look how close that is. That thing doesn't even have Unbending Will. And now she's dead. And I think that is going to make the situation worse for Bloop. As strange as this sounds, he is like past his moment now. He's like past the moment where his Mockman will provide good damage. He has no real way to punch through those two guys now. And yeah, the Mogman is dead. The Sandiwara Eos from Sharon is really big. That is like a really huge Sandiwara Eos that packs quite a punch. You can see damage over time here. Just hitting those heroes into Unbending Will, and he has no way of dealing with those two, and that is the point he loses. He just lacked this initial damage to get through all of those enemies before his Mogman stopped doing damage, and that was just not here. That was just not here. I think he even got like a medium fight. It was not the worst RNG that he could get. There was certainly the point where like the Eos could have broken out and doing active skill or something, and if that Eos did an active skill at any given point, then this fight would have been over much earlier. He also didn't get quite the amount of chases. I mean, there could have been like 50% more chases here, and this would have been over easily at turn 3. But he also didn't get that, so yeah, it's quite difficult. But I think that is like nearly the most that you can get out of Panda Team. Obviously, this Pandas could be T5, but then again, it's difficult. It's difficult. I mean, like, keeping those pandas alive, that is so hard. And there is not much that you can do. You can roll bonus stats, you can roll, like, DR crit damage reduction and maybe something effect of being healed or something. And that is about all that you can do. Maybe even block. But then again, pandas have 100 block anyway, so now why bother? Pretty cool fight, though. Honestly, I like to watch this. I like to watch fights like this. Well-deserved win by Sharon, even though I have to say, because Bloop is a friend, I would have rather seen him win. But both put up a good fight, and I think that is all that we care about. So, Group 6. Andy! I mean, like, this guy is up there, like, every season. That is insane. But Andy, then again, has super strong. Super strong. No questions asked. I mean, can we check that out? Let's look in the Hall of Glory. Last season, do we see Andy? No Andy. But we saw him, right? Top 2? Also not top 2. Okay, I take it back. What about... It's insane how many seasons there already are. Andy here? There he is! Andy! That's also Wraec. And season 34? Oh, still not Andy. Oh, that's top 2. Okay, first place. There he is, season 34. I wasn't confused. Andy is up there a lot. He's really up there a lot. So, Andy versus Kenshin. Andy running CC team, something... Well, it's not entirely what we've seen before. Interesting. I wanted to say it's like the typical Starwing Jara CC team, but he looks like... Okay, it's like Starwing Jara. He has MFF. He has a Rogan. And then he has the Star Alchemist Holmes with like Sandiwara Eos and a Ferric Investor. So it's a little bit like a lot of things put together. It's a little bit like CC, but then he also has a little bit of the bursty Sandiwara Eos. 2 heroes for a little bit more sustain. And the Sandiwara Eos is mostly, I guess, for damage, and then the Starwing Jara for CC. This Star Alchemist Holmes seems a little bit out of place, to be honest, but I think he's also a little bit underappreciated. I mean, not even just his core. You can just use his active skill and CC somebody, and one hero or one enemy just can't attack. So that can be pretty good. And obviously good enough to win. And he fights... Which one is the main team here? I mean, sometimes it's really hard to see, but I would guess he would have some 3 levels on this Ferric Investor if that was his main team. I guess this is the last one as his main team. And this is like the double CC Starwing Jara team with Ferric Investor and Mystic Fairy Freya that we've seen before with 2 Rogues, so the last team should be the main team, even though the second to last teams look pretty strong as well. And Andy here with a solid win, not losing a single hero. Quite insane. So let's see. Ooh! Okay, we can watch that fight again. Holy moly. Let's see. And there is... This is the turn 1 Starwing Jara. Ooh! And this is the extra damage from these sublimations from passive 3 and 4. Insane. Insane. He gets like this poison and everything damage, and that just slaughters through Unbending Will. Insane. I just recently got that. If I didn't get Artorias, we might have seen that in the fights. But absolutely insane. Okay, not much to say. Andy absolutely slaughtered his enemy here. Holy hell. Well-deserved win. Congratulations, mate. We already saw Group 7, that was Artorias. And then we have Group 8, Super God versus Nevermore. Ubita was also in the group. And as you guys know, I apparently slaughter his name. I'm already told I say you bite her. He doesn't bite people. I can guarantee you that. Super God also always with the solid teams. I think like we have seen Super God quite a lot, and his teams were always solid. Nothing real to say. Yeah, it's super solid. Star Alchemist Holmes young team. Star Alchemist Holmes young? No. Yes? I have no idea. Sahi. Yeah. And then we have Nevermore. With the Flex 2-team setup. 2-team setup. That looks a little bit like the Team High Five ran. Running Star Alchemist Holmes core. And we have an S-Model core here. Honestly, I'm more interested about the second team now. S-Model core. Kenshin had no chance. No, that was slaughtering. That was insane. Okay, won the first fight, and then we basically have this one. So let's check that out. We will watch the second team as well. I want to see that S-Model core, because S-Model core is, honestly, it's pretty cool. It's like 40% holy damage buff. That's honestly rather nice. And he got the CC here. I mean, that could have been huge, but this Ezreal is really strong. And I think this Ezreal is now going to carry. I bet you guys this Ezreal is going to carry. And we see another fan here. Those guys have really adopted the fan. That's quite insane. Not even on the Star Alchemist Holmes, on the Mystic Fairy Freya. I mean, Star Alchemist Holmes teams generally don't really care about speed. The only time they really care about speed is when they fight another Star Alchemist Holmes team, because oftentimes the Star Alchemist Holmes with higher speed wins. That is the one point they really care about speed, but other than that, not really. And we see basically the same stuff as last time. Damage over time effects, healing negating from the Ezreal, and some slaughtering here. And as I said, Ezreal carried this. And this is basically what we expected. Let's see the second fight as well, because of the S-Model core. Never seen that. I got one message from a user that showed me that he got an S-Model core, and I thought this was pretty cool, but I've never seen it by anybody else. And see those small chariots? This is the core. Those small chariots coming in here. This is from the core. This is such a cool effect. That looks so nice. And one day I will use an S-Model core, but currently it's just S-Model is just a tenant for me, so sadly not really worth it. But the core looks so cool. I would imagine if you run that like with like Sunny War Eos or something, that would be even cooler. I like it. I like it, even though he stood no chance. So Super God, congratulations to you. Well-deserved victory once again. I think that frame is going into a long list of frames from IDA championships. I think we saw you up there quite a few times. Jesus is here versus Holy Homer. By the way, it's interesting. I always wanted to ask Jesus is here to join me for streams like this. And then I forget about doing this stream, and then there's like Daiko. And you guys can thank Daiko that there is even a stream, because every time the day comes where we have to do this stream, there's like a message from Daiko, and Daiko's pinging me, yeah, don't forget to set your teams if you want to be in Wraec's stream. And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I have to do a stream, right? In like 3 or 4 days. And then he's like, yeah, today is your stream, right? I'm like, yeah, today is my stream. And At this point, I absolutely forgot about it. And so was that. That was the same today. And like till 2 hours before that, I didn't really remember that I even wanted to do a stream. So yeah, that was kind of it. So let's expose Jesus' here's dirty secrets. Obviously level 4 on Aspen because he has no spirit. Like everybody else, we are all out of spirit. And by the way, the pure wailing here with the SSS Mockman. Quite insane. Daiko! He's back in chat. I mean, he has to be here now. After reminding me to do this stream, he obviously has to be here now. And Jesus, like Arthur, is running a full stack of 6 Transcendence heroes. So that is rather interesting. And then we have like a Star Alchemist Holmes team that we're never going to see fight in the second slot. This, on the other hand, looks pretty much like my team, with the exception that he uses Sun Devourer EOS and I use SFX. That is pretty much the same. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's the same setup. We have to look at Holy Homer. I nearly forgot about him. It's like Starwing Jara, Sun Devourer EOS, cool CC Burst team. So let's see how that did against Jesus. I suppose quite the unfortunate matchup here for Holy Homer. Because Jesus, yeah. Facing Jesus is a little bit like facing Artorias. It's just the same mechanic that you lose to after all. You just lose to all that speed. Though this team is of course... Well, it isn't really, is it? A little bit less whaley than Artorias. But just like slightly. Yeah, he always pings me in the morning. Can you remind me to drink my water, please? Yeah, Daiko can do that. So many people I rarely see in my chat, but always hope they would join here someday. We don't even have a lot of viewers this evening. It's like, okay, it wasn't really announced. It's not the biggest topic. It's just PvP. But, busy day for me with it being my birthday. Why is everybody's birthday today? What was 9 months ago? Soul, happy birthday, mate. Very nice that you are here. Happy that you joined me. And Mod Dragon, yeah, I think that is the real Soul. I know the guy. And he told me that his birthday is very soon. So I'm pretty sure he is. Does OP have all SSS heroes? No. I mean, some people summoned some and didn't sell them. So, but I think like from all of the SSS heroes that were on the market, were in the auction house, yeah, they all went to a mega project. Which is insane. Which is really insane. Yeah, poor Holy Homer didn't stand a chance. I mean, that is the luck that you have if you face Artorias or Jesus, then you just lose. Oh no, we were group 9 already. So, congratulations to Jesus here. One day we will make one of those streams together when I remember to actually ask you. I asked him one day before and I said like, yeah, we will organize that, and then I forgot about it. So maybe next time. Maybe next time. We will see. Daiko versus Gore. And we are not going to skip the group. I said that at the beginning we are not going to skip the group. Gore, by the way, with the beautiful place 3 avatar. I'm jealous. I got the place 10. But place 3 with the green one, that one sticks out. Still lost to Daiko. Bloody hell. Daiko, I know you are in chat. You can't hide. This again? Really? This again? One team? I mean, can't you even do your enemies the courtesy of letting them beat like 4 or 5 teams with some random heroes before they fight your main? I mean, how does it feel to fight somebody and not even being able to beat one team? I hope we enter a group sometime, and I will put a very filthy cruise team up there. A very filthy cruise team that will cost you your carry, your Ezreal, and then I will just murder the team. That is the plan. That is the plan. One day. One day. He also only has... I take everything back, Gore. It's the same filthiness as you. So, well, it's one team versus one team. I mean, how often do you see that? Those are the laziest guys in Omega Project, apparently. They set one team and said, like, it's done. And the mean thing is they get to the IDA final with it. So let's watch that. I want to see Daiko lose one season. He has to fight me or something. The mean thing is this bloody team he has is so strong he could probably win against Artorias. Filthy, filthy Star Alchemist Storm team. You would think that you would win that. Look at that situation. Everything is CC'd, everything is down, his team is lively, and still he loses. That's why I say it feels bad to fight against those teams, yeah. And there we have a broken basic skill, and the Age still didn't fix that. I hate it. It's like, once your heroes come out of perceptual disorder, their basic skill breaks, their active skill breaks, and the stuff really doesn't work. Look at this, animation does no longer work, and it didn't even reduce the attack, there is no attack debuff here. So, did not even steal attack, which is filthy. But like, this team works, and it works now for like half a year, so, I mean, Daiko's obviously doing something right. I mean, at one point, we gotta find a counter to that. But it's really hard to counter it. There's not much you can do. And the Age obviously didn't think when they released Azrael, because Azrael is just, it's just so insane. I mean, we would have a counter. My team would pretty much counter Star Alchemist Storm's team. We would have a pretty good win rate against it if it wasn't for Azrael. I could out-heal most of the damage over time effects, but there is no heal if you have Azrael in the enemy team. And, I mean, with a high Starwing Jarakor, you can just CC those heroes. But look at that. Isn't that a bit filthy? He has shields, and there is nothing Gore can do to punish Drury. And Gore doesn't have small heroes. I mean, it's no A-tier heroes, but most people run Giant Killer anyway, and then A-tier makes no difference in PvP. But isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? The most damage was once again done by a hero that was dead. That is like the case with 2/3 of the fights we see from Star Alchemist Storm's team. It's either a dead Sun Devourer Eos or it's a dead Lord of Death Azrael. Isn't that stupid? You can't fight dead heroes. That is something the Age should really think about. That's just so stupid. But not Daiko's fault. Daiko is using the top meta team and building it to perfection. So, I mean, I always say put some effort into building your teams, and this guy does it, and this guy does it well, and this guy built pretty much the perfect Star Alchemist Homes team, so we have to cherish that. And with that, Daiko, I want to congratulate you on this win. Well deserved, strong team, as strong as every season, I would say. Getting a little bit stronger every season and consistently winning IDA, so congratulations on, I don't know, let's check that out, probably his 20th win in the row or something. I don't know. Season 36. Daiko, what did happen in season 36? There is no win here. You lost in season 36? That is pathetic. There he is, season 35. And season 34? And probably all the time with the same team. There he is. Let's check that out. Again, Star Alchemist Homes team in season 33. Then we have season 32. Oh, that was the no purchasing season. No, I don't think he's here. Basically has the same avatar all the time. Here he is. Oh, look at that season 31. But Star Alchemist Homes was already here. And Cores were here. Daiko. That was the last time Daiko ran a normal team. In season 31. Like half a year ago. So, well, that concludes it. So we've watched all the fights. We have looked at everything. I've given somebody a like, so that is good. We have cherished all the winners. Last season I lost because you said I'm a bad person for only setting one lineup, so I said more and lost. It was your fault. You can't put that on me, mate. You can't put that on me. So, is there anything else you guys want to see? Because we just did IDA. We had a look at the star spawns. They also introduced, by the way, if you didn't see that, we need a hero without a proper stone. Oh, this is what. They released this quick upgrade feature, and if you click that, you can actually upgrade the stone. well, if you had dust, I don't have dust, but other people that have dust can upgrade their stone. You can select the one that you want and lock attributes as well, and it will cost you all your gems, but you can instantly upgrade the stone without selecting a ton of other stuff. So that is pretty cool. Nice feature by the Age. Yeah, and with that, we are pretty much done, I would say. Thanks for joining. It was quite a spontaneous stream, so it was okay that there were not that many viewers this time. We will do a bigger stream in the future. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to streams, I noticed. Not really a whole lot that we did, but I could imagine that we do a Christmas stream or something like that. That would be pretty cool. Gems Gone Proof. Yeah, I had like 60k in one of the recent videos, did I? Yeah, but I had to upgrade star spawns. Obviously. Oh, maybe I tell you guys about this, the secret, well, not so secret plan, I say it in the live stream. I want to build like the perfect Starving Jar team. I want to do like the perfect Starving Jar team, and I prepared a little bit for that because I'm working towards CI offset heroes. And we have this one, the Spirit of Justice, and it provides 9.4% CI offset with 30% extra stat bonus for mages, and we got 161% control immunity offset here. That's not done yet, I will explain a little bit, but we are done in like 10 minutes or something. And then I have this one with like 16.8% control immunity offset, 140% here, we can still upgrade that. And I want to build like this perfect Starving Jar team with a ton of CI offset, and then I'm going to slaughter Daiko. That is the plan. Well, so, obviously, yeah, mostly we are done. I just wanted to explain this because I said it in like one fight that I'm working on a little bit or something, and I just wanted to say that. So that's about it. I'm probably going to get an A or higher copy of Starving Jar pretty soon, and then we are going to see if that does well in the future. So, thanks Queenie, thanks all the other guys for joining. I'm pretty happy that you guys were here. And yeah, I want to end it for today. And we are going to see us in the next one. Thanks for joining.